Welcome back, Cowboys fans. It's Victory Monday, and Dallas earned it in style, taking down the Washington Commanders with authority in Week 7. The energy in AT&T Stadium was electric, and this team reminded everyone what they're capable of when everything clicks. But before we dive into the biggest reactions coming out of this win, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Alright, now let's get into it, and we're starting strong. Overreaction number 1, bullying works. That's right, Cowboys fans have been calling for adjustments on defense all season, and finally, it happened. Dan Quinn and the coaching staff made the moves everyone was demanding, and it paid off big time. Dallas switched things up defensively, showing far more man coverage and bringing heavier pressure than usual. According to NFL Next Gen stats, before the game got out of hand in the third quarter, the Cowboys played man coverage on over 50% of the snaps, a major increase from previous weeks. They also blitzed at one of the highest rates in the league, sitting at around 37%. The result? Washington's rookie quarterback Jaylen Daniels struggled all game long. Before leaving with an injury, he completed just 3 of 10 passes for 39 yards against man coverage, compared to 9 of 12 for 117 yards and a touchdown against zone. Dallas kept him uncomfortable, confused, and constantly on the move. Simply put, this version of the Cowboys' defense looked aggressive, confident, and dominant. It turns out, running man coverage actually works when you've got a roster full of corners built for it. From day one, it was clear that guys like Darren Bland and Trevon Diggs thrive in man-to-man matchups. These are physical, confident corners who love going toe-to-toe with receivers. Washington tried hard to attack the weak spots, especially targeting rookie corner Tricez Bridges, but Dallas held firm. Just look at the passing chart, nearly everything went to the right side of the field, because the Commanders wanted no part of Bland or Elam. Even when they tried to challenge Bridges, the Cowboys' pressure and tight coverage kept them from finding a rhythm. Marcus Mariota didn't have much success either. His pick six came on a zone look, and outside of a couple late-game scrambles, he didn't have many answers for this defense. Washington's run game was bottled up most of the afternoon, their backs barely made an impact. Sure, the box score says they averaged close to 5 yards per carry, but that number is inflated by Mariota's 2 long runs. When you strip those out, the Cowboys completely dominated the line of scrimmage. So, how would you grade this defensive performance, on a scale of 1 to 10? Drop your answers in the comments. Now, let's move to overreaction number 2, the defense is all fixed now, baby. Sounds nice, right? But that's definitely an overreaction. As good as Dallas looked, this isn't the moment to declare everything perfect. There's still work to do. What we saw against the Commanders was a big step, a much-needed course correction, but not the final form of this defense. The Commanders were missing key players, including their top 3 wide receivers, which definitely helped the Cowboys' cause. Still, the improvement was real, and exactly what fans have been waiting to see. Honestly, Jaylen Daniels just didn't have it this week. There were open receivers out there, opportunities to move the ball, but he couldn't connect. Some of that was on him, but a lot of it came from how relentless the Cowboys' defense was. They forced quick decisions, tight windows, and constant pressure that threw off his rhythm. But here's the thing, one great performance doesn't mean the job's done. We've seen this story before. Remember when Dallas looked dominant against the Jets earlier this season, only to fall flat the following week against the Panthers? That's exactly why fans should be excited but cautious. The Cowboys' defense showed massive improvement, smarter coverage, sharper communication, and a lot more aggression, but to prove this wasn't a one-week fluke, they've got to sustain it. Great defenses don't just show up once. They show up every single week. And if Dallas can keep playing with this kind of fire, this defense has the potential to remind the entire NFL that the Cowboys are still one of the most dangerous teams in football. Now, let's shift gears and talk trades, because every Cowboys fan wants to know, will Dallas make a move before the NFL trade deadline? Here's the truth, patience might be the smartest play right now. The big-name targets everyone keeps talking about, guys like Trey Hendrickson or Jeffrey Simmons, probably aren't even available. The rumors sound great, but when you dig deeper, most of them don't hold up. And of course, after every Cowboys win, Jerry Jones loves to talk. He's upbeat, proud, and confident in his roster, and once again, his message stayed consistent: we believe in our guys. Jerry made it clear he's not chasing a splashy deal just for headlines. Here's the key takeaway from his comments: the Cowboys aren't aggressively shopping. They're open to listening, but they're not desperate. This is the same philosophy we've heard for years: you call us, we don't call you. So, what does that mean for fans hoping for a big mid-season trade? Don't hold your breath. If something truly special comes along, Dallas will listen, but for now, they're sticking with the roster they trust. And honestly, given how this defense just performed, that confidence might not be misplaced. We'll see if anything changes as the trade deadline gets closer, but let's be honest, the Cowboys could still use a bit of help. Yes, the defense looked better, but it's not quite championship caliber yet. Holding Washington to 20 points is progress, but that's still league average production. If Dallas truly wants to compete with the elite, they'll need more consistency and maybe one or two key additions. That said, this front office isn't going to panic. They're not the type to toss away first-round picks just for a short-term fix. Dallas knows its championship window isn't just this year, it extends over the next few seasons, as long as their quarterback continues to play at a high level. If the right deal appears, one that brings a proven player under contract beyond this season, then yes, that's worth exploring. But until then, patience makes sense. The upcoming matchup against Denver could reveal a lot. If the Cowboys perform well, they might stand pat. If not, expect the phones to start buzzing before the deadline hits. Now, let's move on to overreaction number 4, Trevon Diggs is done in Dallas. Let's be clear, that's definitely an overreaction. There's been plenty of speculation about his future, but for now, nothing is set in stone. The organization has made a few questionable comments in the past, sure, but Diggs remains one of the most talented corners in football. His recovery was faster than expected, surprising even the coaching staff. The narrative that Dallas has already moved on from him doesn't hold weight right now. Until we hear otherwise, Diggs is still very much part of this team's plans, and when he's on the field, he's a game-changer. Now, let's talk about the strange situation surrounding Trevon Diggs. Over the weekend, Diggs was ruled out after showing up to the facility with concussion-like symptoms. Both he and the Cowboys described it simply as an accident, but no details have been shared beyond that. It's definitely unusual, especially since the incident didn't occur during a game or practice. Jerry Jones even commented on it, saying the situation was different from what fans are used to seeing when an injury happens on the field. The lack of clarity has left everyone guessing, but one thing is certain: the team is keeping this matter private, and that's their right. The bigger question isn't how it happened, but what it means for Diggs' future in Dallas. The relationship between Diggs and the front office has seemed tense for a while now. From off-season frustration to quiet rumors about a possible split, this story feels like it's been building for months. Still, the idea that the Cowboys would fake or manipulate an injury for trade purposes? That doesn't hold up. There's no evidence of that, and frankly, no logic behind it. At this point, all we can do is wait for clarity. What matters most is Diggs' health, because when he's on the field, this secondary transforms. Whether or not he remains part of the Cowboys' long-term future, his talent and impact are undeniable. Let's clear something up right now: no NFL team is going to trade for a player dealing with a concussion. That storyline never made sense. The Diggs situation wasn't about a trade, it was about timing, health, and communication. If the Cowboys truly wanted to move on from Trevon Diggs, that would have happened in the offseason. There simply weren't any serious offers, and honestly, that's on other teams, because Diggs is still one of the most talented corners in the game. Yes, there's been tension. The front office wasn't thrilled that Diggs rehabbed away from team facilities, but he came back ahead of schedule. Then came the talk about wanting more man coverage, which, ironically, is exactly what the defense needed. Once they made that adjustment, things clicked. And here's the truth, the Cowboys' defense is stronger with Diggs on the field. Trevon Bridges is still developing, and Washington clearly targeted him last game. If Dallas wants to sustain this defensive surge, having Diggs back in the lineup makes all the difference. Now, let's move to overreaction number 5, Shamar James is a starter. This isn't an overreaction, it's reality. With Jack Sanborn just returning from concussion protocol, it was James and Kenneth Murray who handled most of the work in the nickel and 3 linebacker sets. And James looked the part, fast, instinctive, and confident. Sure, there were a few coverage moments he'll want back, but overall, the defense played faster and more disciplined. Kenneth Murray also deserves huge credit, 9 tackles, a tackle for loss, a strip sack, and multiple pressures. That's the version of Murray Cowboys fans have been waiting for. Now on to overreaction number 6, Ryan Finoy needs to play over Jalen Tolbert. You know what? That's not an overreaction either. Finoy brings energy and reliability. When he started alongside CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, the offense felt smoother. Yet for some reason, Tolbert still got the bulk of the snaps, 33 in total. It's time to give Finoy a real shot to prove himself. The Cowboys have depth at receiver, but it's time to reward production, not just potential. Ryan Finoy played just 19 snaps compared to Jalen Tolbert's 33, and that says a lot about how the Cowboys view their roles right now. They seem to trust Tolbert a bit more as a blocker, though that costly holding penalty reminded everyone that reliability still matters. It was a soft call, sure, but a grab and twist like that? It's always going to draw a flag. Now, I'm not reading too much into Cavante Turpin's limited usage either. He logged just 20 snaps, but that looked more like a load management move after his recent foot injury, a pitch count type of game. Still, if we're talking about maximizing offensive juice, the ideal rotation feels obvious, Turpin as your no. 3, Finoy as your number 4, and Tolbert sliding down to the 5th spot. Finoy simply brings more energy and efficiency. His numbers don't lie, 20 targets, 13 receptions, 179 yards. Compare that to Tolbert's 22 targets, 12 catches, and 125 yards. Yes, Tolbert has shown clutch flashes, that touchdown against Pittsburgh, the sideline grab in the Green Bay comeback, but Finoy is younger, under contract longer, and looks like a more explosive weapon right now. Sometimes, the smarter move is to lean into momentum.